Yeah, good evening and thank you for the invitation. Just a few words about Dietrich Untertrifallen architects. I did my studies in Vienna and the Technical University, also did Much Untertrifallen, and we are working together since this time. Even we have founded our office a bit later. I was working with Hermann Kaufmann, which is well known about his timber construction works, and we were working together for 7 years. And in the early 90s, because of some competitions we won, Much Untertrifallen and me founded our office, and today we have 5 offices in different cities. One is Bregenz, which was the original one, then Vienna, Munich, Paris, and St. Gallen in Switzerland. And altogether we are working with about 120 architects today. But that is not my main interest, that the company becomes bigger and bigger. My interest is to create architecture which is also sustainable, which is has a long period, which is where it keeps its value, and to use materials which are beautiful, like wood. I like it very much to work with wood, and so my focus is on that things. Today I show you the elementary school in Höchst in Austria. It's as you can see, it's a single-story building. It was a competition, I think 5-6 years ago, and the original school, the competition was 2013, and the construction was finished in 17. It's a school with 8 classes, and in this site there was a school from the 60s which was not worth to refurbish, and so the Höchst made a competition, and there were very different projects. We had the only project which was just one story. Some were 2, 3, up to 4 stories. But we are still very convinced that for the very small children from 6 to 10, it's better to have this horizontal way of school instead of the multi-story building. As you can see, the town of Höchst is basically single-family houses, not very big, not very large. It's small houses, and especially this area where the school, this is not the center school of Höchst. It's in the outskirts, more or less. And the surrounding are these small houses. There's also, it doesn't work. There on the right side from the school there is also a gardening center, and there are several commercial sites, but mostly single-family houses. The project is very close to Lake Constance. Lake Constance is 1 kilometer from the site to the north, and Switzerland, here where I am, is already Switzerland, so you can a bit imagine where the house is. The school is a cluster school. It's the system which is very much focused to the new educational needs, and you see the 4 clusters which are separated by small courtyards. Each cluster has 2 classrooms, has a smaller room for smaller groups. It has the restrooms and the wardrobe, a room for the teacher, and the center, which is very important, is the learning area, which is connected to the classrooms. This wall is also transparent, so the teachers can also see what happens outside. But these two classes are fixed together to one of these clusters. And every cluster has also this outdoor area which is open to this gardening center. It's very close to it, so we participate, the school participates on the plants, on the gardens, and the gardening center is participating by the light. We didn't build 3-story high, so they get more light to their plants, and so we are both have a good combination of how to share the space. This is the main road. It's about 100 meters. The whole building is 40 to 100 meters. Here you have the special class, that's the library, and the entrance with a room for event. And right to the top there is the gymnasium, which is the only space which is digged down to the ground. And it's, of course, it has a normal height of 7-8 meters. Yeah, that shows a bit more detailed what I told before. This is the underground area of the gymnasium and the fitting rooms. That's the section with the 1-story building, and the only thing which is higher than this normal 3-meter rooms is the learning center, which is like a chapel, which becomes the light from the vertical. That's the view from the gardening center, and you see 2 classes, and in between this small courtyard which is for outdoor education, but also for working with plants, growing plants, working with different materials, and so on and so on. And the whole building from the basement is wood, and we were very much focused on a very simple construction. That's one of the picture with the entrance and with the gymnasium. The gardening area, and that's a part of these courtyards where the children have possibility to grow their own plants and to look after and to see how it works. On the right side you can see the glass houses, and it's as well more or less private playground for the group, for the 2 classes, which is shaded a bit by the timber construction. We left the wood completely untreated. We didn't put any color or any treatment on it, so it turns into gray, and after a while the building will be very integrated into nature, into the green. We have also the playground, we have the sport facilities around, and here you can see very well the the level of the buildings, which are is very low, and so we didn't want to create a very strong and important building in between. And on the other side of the valley, you can see the first mountains of the Alps. The entrance area, and this is the entrance which is also used as a place for events, for school events, and there is also the school restaurant beside, so this place has a function of a marketplace before you start to walk on this main street. That's one of these learning centers with the computers, with the connection to the outside, with this roof. And as you can see, there is also there are the windows to the classrooms, which are connected very well to this central space. The construction, as I said, is very simple. You have these laminated beams, a very simple acoustic surface between the beams. Here, acoustic, which is very cheap and very functional. And you have also the walls, which are in CLT. And our idea was, because of course a one-story building is more expensive than a compact four-story building. So we had to think about the costs, and we tried to create a construction which is almost finished when the woodworkers leave. We don't have a lot of coverings, of boards to be put on the main construction, but the main construction comes from the industry. You put it in the place and it's finished. You just have to protect it during the works, that it's not that it doesn't become in touch with water, and that's the main thing. All these walls are with two layers. In between there is insulation, and that's it. No further covering. Only the chapel, the roof of the chapel has its covering. Yeah, that's the working place, the workshop for the students, the library. We have a very simple floor, epoxy floor. And that's this main road, which looks quite narrow, but isn't narrow. And the look to the gymnasium, which is also a very simple construction. The fitting rooms, and the gymnasium. Yeah, and here are two pictures from construction. Yeah, here you can see this two-layer CLTs, which were protected, and the CLT roof, and the ground floor with the heating, the very simple beam construction, and that's it. I have to show you how it came to this project, because we started much earlier with a bigger project in timber construction. It was a competition in 2001, and the school was finished in 2003. This is the school, that's the gymnasium, and this was in the early days when it was finished with this copper facade, which is a perforated copper shading of the south facade, and the classrooms and the special classrooms underground. That was the first, that's an actual picture which was taken some months ago with the new gymnasium. With the headrats, the copper facade became dark, almost black. That's the way it looks today. The wood isn't as clear anymore, but it looks very lively, and yeah, I think it's a good place to be for the children. It's the 10 to 14 years old, and here you have the classrooms on the right side, which are getting light from both sides, from outside, but also from this inner courtyard. And the classrooms are connected to the corridor with bridges. So you have this both side light. On the right picture, there is the entrance hall with the library in the first floor. And that is the corridor with the changing areas and the bridges to the classes. Classroom, and that's the gymnasium, which is double. You can separate it with a curtain. And we have these pyramids to get the light in, which makes a very clear and very a bright light, but without any direct sun coming to the playground or to the area where the students are. That's the outside. And two projects in France. The one is from 2018. It's a college in Lamballe. It's in Bretagne. The schools are a bit different in France than in Austria or in Germany. The basement is a concrete construction. Inside is wood. As you can see here, it's a bit like the school in Klaus with the bridges to the classes, but more simple in construction. That's what we learned in France. It's better to keep timber construction simple and easy. And that's the same structure with the acoustic elements. And the last one is a bit older, is from 2015, is very close to the other one in Bron, in Bretagne. And here you have these areas with the kitchen, with the restaurant, and the classrooms are upstairs. And here also these constructions, the handrails are beams, which are important for the construction. And that's it. Thank you very much.